Welcome to the Path to Purpose interview show, where we share our unique and universal stories about finding and fulfilling our purpose. My name is Katja, and I'm your host and a spiritual mentor. My intention for this show is to inspire you on your path to purpose. Today, I have a pleasure to interview my dear friend, Richard Learmont, who is in other era, he might have been called a wise man or a guru, but in this modern age of increasing stress and paradoxically disconnection, he incorporates a blend of ancient practices with modern science to do nothing less than help people to reach their deeply human potential. And I met Richard in a wellness, health, and spiritual trade show in Los Angeles in 2015, I think it was. And I saw him doing also sound healing that he does. And sometimes you just know that you need to speak with somebody. And so I did. And here we are now having this interview and finding more about his journey. And he will also share how we can reach our human potential. So let's dive in and welcome Richard.
Thank you. Thank you, Katja. What a pleasure to be here.
I am so excited that you are here and sharing your journey with us and your wisdom. So could you please tell us a little bit more about you and let us put you also on the map, so share your location.
Okay. I am currently in New York City. And at as everyone knows, it's the epicenter of this incredible pandemic that's happening here in our world. But I'm totally safe, and where I live here in Harlem, it's quite quiet and nice and beautiful. The parks, and it's wonderful being here, actually. You want to know about me?
Yes.
Well,
Because I just shared a little bit about who you are. You said you don't want to be called wise man or guru, but you are doing so much incredible work. So sharing little glimpses of what you do.
yeah. Well, I've been on the healing path of my life. Has been, I've done so many different things in my life, and in fact, um, today it's really beautiful to see how every single thing that I've done throughout my entire life, how it culminates to who I am now, who I am today, and how they all actually work together beautifully. There are no mistakes, none whatsoever, and it's really beautiful to to see that in it. And during the journey, of course, during the course of my journey in this life, there were many times, of course, that I had doubts about what I'm doing, where I'm going, because of course, many people would have opinions, and those opinions would impact me and have make me feel in some ways, through the insecurities that I've had personally, that maybe something was wrong. But in any case, I found myself, I've been a musician most of my life, so music has served me, and it still does today, in how I help people to connect with themselves. And along with that, on that path of music for fun, and I use music for healing. And I've also had the opportunity to study shamanism, which is another form of natural healing, and understanding how to heal myself and help others as well with natural herbs, natural plants, and natural ways. That really understanding myself and my body, how how I'm here to take care of this vehicle that I'm in. And along with that, I've had the greater opportunity that came to me back in 2001, actually, 2001, where I've had the study of this incredible study or knowledge called the human design system. And human design is a system that's here to show us basically how things work. It's what it is. It's a synthesis of many, many different systems coming together. Basically, ancient systems have merged with modern science, basically. And so what they are there, we've heard of the Chinese I Ching, which is an ancient system. We've heard of the Kabbalah, Judaic Kabbalah, and there is the Hindu chakra system, which is another ancient system, and astrology. So these four ancient systems, they merge together, and now it merges with biochemistry, quantum physics, genetic encoding, yes, and astronomy, and they all merge together and are showing us basically this whole quality of how we exist and how things exist around us and how we are intended to navigate our lives, through decision making, how it all functions, and how we're here to with ease and grace, navigate our lives by knowing, how to make correct decisions in every moment.
Mm.
So that's been an incredible help in my life.
Yeah, and was there a special event? How did you discover? Because you said you found it. So was there
Hmm.
something that you felt called to, or how did it come into your life? Do you remember?
Yeah, well, it goes back, it goes back and back. I'll try to go not too far back, but at one point I lived in Europe for almost 10 years, and upon my return, lived here in France and Belgium, and traveled around as a musician, and had a wonderful time, and all kinds of incredible experiences. And I moved back to New York City and started a business with uh, decorating and interior designing and so on. Was another passion of mine, still is. Um, but then I moved to California. Something pulled me to California, and I ended up in San Diego, and there I brought my business with me, and I found myself was really working so hard and really burnt out, and I was seeking a chiropractor, and stumbled into an office, and uh, met with this incredible uh, chiropractic doctor, and he introduced me. He did his thing and his magic with kinesiology and his special magic that he had. He had a really unique system for doing chiropractic, not the ordinary thing, and that I was very fascinated by. And we ended up becoming really good friends. And he happened to be a shaman as well, so he took me under his wings, and I became sort of a apprentice, and we became really good friends. And he was also studying this human design system, so he introduced me to shamanism and this human design system. So it was a whole new thing that opened up my world, completely obliterated everything that I thought I knew, and set me on this path in life. I had no idea that any of this was coming, that I was ever going to be on this path of shamanism, or even this, metaphysical understanding of life. And I mean, I had been studying and practicing yoga.
Mm-hmm.
I had a guru and with the Siddha Shiva Foundation, and so I've been on that path for many years, but never did I think I was going to enter the one that I'm in now. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I love what you shared. Like you had a calling. You felt like you need to go to certain places, and then like having the openness, like, okay, I follow that calling and do the move,
Hmm.
moving across the country, and then just having the openness to like be gu- let yourself to be guided. So I
Hmm.
love that. And what you shared also, and this is something maybe so many can relate, having these doubts and hesitations about what we do and what we are called to do, and then like still going ahead and allowing yourself to shine your light and share your gifts the way you do, because that is so important here. So human design, I know that because you have been showing me a little bit of my human design, which was
Hmm.
so fascinating. But for people who have no understanding what that is. So can you open that up a little bit? What is human design and who would need it?
Well, quite frankly, I think everyone needs it. You know, it's a way of understanding this change that we're currently under right now, we're experiencing right now. It explains it to us in such a beautiful, simple way, um, uh, and shares with us that it's how important it is for us to learn to live our designs. So what it is, it's you've heard of the 7 chakras, right? We
Mm.
all in the spiritual uh, movement, whatever you want to call it. I think many people understand this language about 7 chakras. Well, that relates to a particular species of humans, of Homo sapiens, the 7 chakra beings. And prior to 7 chakra beings were 5 centered. Chakras means energy centers. It's a um, Hindu Brahmin terminology for energy centers. And so I like to relate to it as energy centers because it's in our bodies, it's in our auric bodies, it's in our energetic body. And so before the 7 chakra beings were 5 centered beings. Those were like Neanderthals. And basically it shows us, you know, this movement in our evolutionary process of how we are evolving. And so from 5 centered beings, Neanderthals, to, you know, 7 chakra beings or 7 centered beings, um, Homo sapiens, um, we've mutated and we are now considered uh, 9 centered beings. So we're no longer these 7 chakra beings. And that mutation, that actually took place a long time ago. This was back in around, you know, there's always uh, a closing of the gate, you know, like a line that we cross over, a time in, you know, a line in time, you know. And this was back in 1781 when we crossed that line from 7 centered beings, when the new beings started entering the planets, were 9 centered beings. And so that's who we are today. And we essentially, you know, we look like our predecessors, the 7 chakra, the 7 centered beings, but uh, internally, how we operate internally, it's quite different. We have a total different internal architecture of how we're meant to navigate this plane, how we're intended to live our lives, even though we still have, you know, the conditionings that we still carrying from our 7 centered predecessors, the 7 centered uh, beings, our predecessors. We're still living with their conditionings because all of the infrastructure and institutions and stuff that were built in this civilization that we're living in, it's it's handed down from them. And so we're at this juncture now, you know, like, you know, that we're coming to the end of the cycle, and it ends according to human designs. The mandala that we follow, that we look at, it ends in 2027. 2027 is the crossing, the drawing in the line where we enter into this new era. Okay, and this era of that we're coming out of, the one that we're currently in, you know, which began, you know, around 400 years ago, you know, the beginning of this particular global cycle, this frequency that's been holding everything together in this civilization that we're in right now. It's it's been since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, okay, and it's coming to an end in 2027. And it's been all about the planning of this building of this infrastructure that we're in. And the infrastructure is, as we can see, it's crumbling. It's coming to the end, and something new is about to be birthed. And this birthing is this. There's a theme to it as well, you know. And the new theme is about individuality. Individuality, you know. So it's the awakening of the individual, the awakening of, you know, to be our own individual authority, basically, you know, to be interdependent so we can all individually, you know, understand what our gifts are, what we're here to bring to, where each and every one of us are an incredible part of this collective. And we are here to wake up to that.
Mm.
And it's quite interesting, the 7 year cycle. We humans, we go on 7 year cycles, and it takes 7 years for these cells in our body to rejuvenate. And so 7 is a very important number in a human consciousness. Um, and here we are, the last 7 years of this global cycle that we're in before the closing of the gate, basically. And we've been initiated with this thing called COVID-19. And COVID-19, here it is, it says to us to separate and be in your own individual energy. It's just, the paradox of all of it is just making so much sense of the study. It's really, it's all coming together. And yes, there's a lot of tragedy. There's a lot of, sadness, and it just comes with it. It's not a blame. It's not, there's no one fault. It's just life. It's moving to the next transition of our evolutionary process. And this is what happens. Some people die, some people suffer, and some people will rise up. We're moving to the next. And so human design is here to show us a way of how we are here to navigate the turbulence of all of the conflict and the confusion and the chaos, how to navigate this, how to remain in your centeredness of yourself, how to be yourself, how to be your own authority. And it offers us something that's very unique. It offers us a strategy that's part of our auric nature. It's something that there's no other system that really shows this, and it's the unique and beautiful thing about it. And it is so accurate. How to follow your strategy and how to be yourself in any situation.
Wow, that was amazing explanation. Like also like what is happening and how we can now, by knowing our human design, to make most of our potential.
Mm-hmm.
So what has been, on your personal level, what has been your biggest takeaway from the human design?
Wow, my biggest takeaway has been for all my life, I've never been shown any of these things. I've just been told, like, here, you come into this world, you try to make the best, you get an education, and you study, you try to get a degree in something, whatever that is, you figure it out, and then you just go out there and you do it, make it happen, just go be successful, whatever you have to do, figure out relationships, we don't know, basically, and don't make mistakes, but, figure it out. Well, not really don't make
No
mistakes, but
stress.
you make mistakes, you got to figure it out, um, uh, and well, yeah, I've been, all my life just been running and trying all kinds of things, bumping into things. I've had all kinds of accidents. I've brushed with death several times. I've broken my neck. I've been hit by a motorcycle. I've been all kinds of things that's, in the other part of my life that's just been, that rocked me, and gone in and out of relationships and, marriages and divorce. And, it's just been one hell of a thing. And I had no idea what I was doing. None. you know, Completely in the dark. My parents didn't know any better. No one around me really know any better. It's just about, hey, how much money do you have? Make some money. And I do everything I can to struggle to make that happen. It was hell, and fun too. There were lots of fun moments, and forget that. But there, it's like not knowing what the hell I was doing, and until this knowledge came to me, and it took years, because it takes years to really make that change, because it came to me, later in my life, in my 30s already, when the human design came to me. So I had a lot of, conditionings. I had a lot of stuff to undo, to really integrate it, and to really find my equilibrium, my true equilibrium, my true self, and really what that meant, and how to center myself in it and follow my strategy, and follow what's correct for me. So yeah, it gave me the key, really, of what that meant, and where in my body that I can trust the thing that lets me know how to make the best decisions in my life. When I
Wow.
understood how to make decisions, how to truly make decisions based on really listening to my my inner authority, my true self,
Mm,
and not my mind. Because I
thank you
listen
for
to my mind
sharing.
most of my life. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
thank you for sharing of that personal journey, and like it just makes us so much easier to relate. Like, hey, you didn't have all figured out. Like
Oh
it's
no.
learning and going all those ups and downs, and then finding
Hmm.
something that works for you and helps you to make even better decisions now. So,
Hmm.
in your opinion, why do we struggle so much to make those decisions? And why do we struggle so much to recognize our potential here?
Just it's simple. We just haven't been shown. We just didn't know. Our
Mm,
parents didn't know. Their parents didn't know. And you can go all the way back down to the generational line, all the way back. They just didn't know. And this is what this thing is. We're at the end of a circle, as a cycle, and this knowledge is just here now to really show us what that means. You know, I mean, look, when you look at things like, meditation, healing, the work that you're doing, these, you look at this 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, go back, years ago. And it was considered woo-woo.
mm,
This was total woo-woo. This was like, what are you doing? You're laughing at unless you have some sort of a good corporate job or, making lots of money as an entrepreneur or something, and even that was like, was a rare thing, but, it was only certain people had that sort of privilege, but uh, we just didn't know. And now there's so much information, so much of it is coming out now, and especially like things with what COVID-19 has really initiated in us. There's so many people now, you know, online into, all kinds of healing, from distant healing, and people in the corporate world that before that was like, it was woo
yeah.
woo, and now here they are on online doing it, and distant, it's not even in the same aura, not even in the same room. We're talking about far away, and they trying these things and having experiences that are impactful, so yes, it's simply is just that we did not know before, and
Mm,
now it's opened up, and our awareness has opened up now to receive it, to really even want to be interested in trying these things, because now the rug has been pulled from underneath everyone. It's been pulled. Never before has anyone ever thought that the world would ever stop. I mean, no one could have ever possibly imagined that. You'd be like, what? The world would stop? Businesses would stop? Not even possible. It wasn't even in the consciousness that could ever happen. So now, yes, the possibilities are, it's like it's something has been initiated for all kinds of possibilities that will begin to open when this thing has settled.
mm.
It's a whole new world. But I do believe there's still more shake up to still come down the pike, between now and 2027, the closing of the gate.
So if you are now there watching and claiming I should have known, just you didn't know, just let go of the judgment, and now you have an opportunity to learn more about you and how you are designed. So what are the main reasons why people come to you? Like if there are some three key areas, like why people come to you, because then people might now be listening and they are like, hey, that's me. Because you said this is for everyone, but are
Mhm.
there specific areas why people want to have the human design done?
Yeah. Okay, but let me correct myself. Is it for everyone? Maybe not everyone. Those who have the ears to hear and those who are ready to receive this, but not everyone is. There will be some people that it's just, they don't want to go there, you know. Um, but those who are, especially for leadership type people, and people who are, really want to know themselves, they're ready for that. Yes. Um, um, Ask me the question one more time, please.
So is there three key areas why people come to you? Like, are they coming, like you said, leadership, like finding new skills, how to be better leaders?
Hmm.
Uh, what other
Yes.
areas?
So I share this work and I offer this work in my services to for people for business. There's a business aspect to it. So if you're seeking new career, if you if you have a career or you have a job and you not satisfied within your job, you're looking, to find a different position, you're finding like you're doing the work, but you're doing the work for a living, for money, but there's more to it. You really want to find where you truly belong, what your real role is in this life, your purpose, your role, what kind of, how you can really utilize your energy in the best way, who are the people you should be working with, what environments you should work.
Mm,
You're here to work best in, should you work, do you work best in a solo situation? Do you work best in partnership? Do you work best in a small business or a large business, large corporation? Or it could be a combination of for some people, but it can let you know where your best environments are. And uh, what you actually bring to the table. What are your inherent gifts that you bring to the table in 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 conjunction with um, the gifts and skills that you've learned. There are things that you learned along the way that you learned in school or wherever. You know, um, how does that tie in with actually what you're naturally here to bring to the world? Because oftentimes, you know, we have natural gifts that come so easily for us to do, and but we're often seeking for something because there's something feels like it's missing in us. I'd like to be more like that and that and that. And so we put all of our focus and energy into trying to do those things that we're not really good at. But meanwhile, you know, we burn ourselves out and we, freak out. And meanwhile, we have these gifts that's just natural to us and we ignore them because we see it as so easy. Oh, that's nothing, you know?
you
And
don't
that's where you're here. Sorry?
we don't recognize what are our natural talents often. So
Yeah, we take it for granted and we just ignore them, but we want to go after the things that we think we should be putting the energy in because that's what they're doing and I want to do that and I know I can do that and I want to, and we focus our mind into doing it and we put a lot of time and energy and all our resources and money into it and it's over and over and over with so many people and they stressed out, end up in places that they don't want to be,
yep, I've been
I
there.
know that, I've been there.
Me too.
And so, that's one area with business. And also I help, with businesses themselves. I show businesses, small businesses and large, how to manage your team. So I can work with a leader, the CEO. It starts from the top down, how you operate, how you're here to communicate with your people to really, and then how you're here to communicate with each person on your team, to really get them really, to really be there potential to really fulfill that, and doing the things that they love and instead of putting them into things that's not right for them, and then you get stressed out and they get stressed out and then they're not doing the full you know fully what they're here to do, and it creates all kinds of problems. So I show you how to manage your team based on how everyone's wired up and how they're designed to,
Yeah,
and yeah
that is
and
a big one because I know I've been a team leader and it is like finding how to bring the best out of each team member and they are all different. So then
mhm, mhm,
that would have been so helpful back in those days to
mhm.
actually have that mapping and just okay, like having that information how to make most out of the team members that I had. So
Yeah.
definitely very helpful.
And and if you're looking to start a team, it can be extremely beneficial as well because now you can, if you have a vision and you have an idea where you want to go and what you want to do, you have the resources or you're seeking the resources, I can show you how to build a team around you to
Mm,
get your dream team basically because you want the right energies, you want to bring the right people in, matching up with you so that the thing can flow with ease, you know, with the least amount of resistance is
yes.
really the key. And I also do this for life coaching. So those who are, feel that they're financially sound or so, um, And you want to bring this to your family, you want to bring this to yourself, you want to bring this to your relationship if you're a couple, and to understand your dynamic, understand your partner's dynamic, how you two come together, where you're having, the places in your life where you'll find the clash going on, because it's just how we are. We're wired up differently. So there are places where we're gonna harmonize, and there are places where we're gonna clash, and you want to understand these aspects of what's going on and when it's going on, how to deal with it, what's actually going on, and not get caught up in the story of it, because the story is what we think is what the problem is, but it's not. It's the underlying energetic nature of what's going on there. And when you understand that, then you have a different language to speak about what's going on. The story becomes something different. You can see it, you can understand it. It doesn't mean that you won't feel the intensity, or you won't get upset, or angry or sad. Those things will still happen, but you still know how to navigate that, how to deal with it without getting into the blame game.
Mm.
And it just makes relationships so much better. And for parenting, it helps you understand your children so much better once you understand yourself, and the basics, at least. You understand the basics of what's going on, why you're getting triggered. You can understand your kid, and have a whole new perspective in how to guide them, by understanding that they also have a design, and it's why these things are going on, and why this you know exchange of energy is going on, and creates tension and friction, and it's not personal. It's just what is. And so how to navigate that.
Yeah, so now if somebody's there like, yes, I want to know my human design, like I need that, whether it's a business or relationship or having children and wanting to know they design. So how can people find out more about you and your work?
Yes, thank you. You can find me through my website. If you, my human design website is called By Design Consult. By Design Consult. BYDESIGNCONSULT.com. Or if you forget, you can go to my main website, which is richardlearmont.com. That's my name.com. richardlearmont.com, and it'll have all my other websites that can take you to the other things that I'm doing. Yeah.
Beautiful. And you find all the links on the comments below as well. So it's easy to find more information. And now we are wrapping up this beautiful interview here. So I just want to ask you, do you have a special message that you would like to share with people who are listening to us?
Yeah. For the human design stuff, I wanted to share something, because I'm also a sound healer, a sound therapist, and I wanted to share something related to that. Do you think that would be more appropriate, or would be appropriate, or would you prefer human design? Because I
Whatever
think
comes forward, if it's calling you, just say yes to it and share share what
okay,
comes.
thank you. I would like to share this because it's so appropriate for this time now, that we're in the middle of this incredible transformation in our civilization. And it's a practice that I'd like to leave with people. It's called and it's one of my websites as well. Re is a frequency that came to me, that from all of my years of practicing in music and toning and chanting and stuff. But this came to me just prior to this pandemic thing that was happening, and it made so much sense why it came. But Re is the frequency that hovers between your heart center and the mind, between the heart and the mind. And this is the place where we find that we struggle in our civilization. There's a huge disconnect between heart and mind. We've all been so deeply trained in all of our education and everything that how this works on this planet is all about mind. The development of our mind's been going on for the past 100,000 years, and so it's so developed that we're so locked into it, and we're lost. We've totally disconnected from our hearts and how to really ground into from this love space. And so what I've found that when you tone a simple thing, if you find yourself in sadness, if you find yourself in, in anger or whatever kind of emotional stress that you might be in, even when you're happy, you know, when you tone re, it it breaks up the tension. It breaks up the distortion that's going on between heart and mind, and it realigns you. It helps you to refocus your energy. It helps you to realign. It helps you to resurface. Recharges your energy so that you can resurface as yourself, basically. So it's a practice, and all you need to do is do it for a few minutes, 2-3 minutes of reading, and you're returning to yourself. And so I'll give you an example in a second, but I just wanted to explain to you first what it's about, And so again, it hovers between heart and mind, and you can feel the vibration in your heart center. You can feel it here, and you can feel it here in your mind. And when you close your eyes and you hold it in intention of what it is that you've been going through, whatever it is that you want to clear this, you want to come see the light of what it is. Where do you want to be, basically? Where do you want to go with it? When you allow yourself, you just hold an intention and then sit quietly and read to yourself, wherever you are. If you have people around and you're embarrassed, go to the bathroom, wherever, take a walk outside and just find yourself where you can be with yourself and re. And re is an old English word. It means in a return to the original source. It's returning to the original source. After this came to me and I looked it up and I started researching and went deeper into it, I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And then I started practicing toning, and it made so much sense that I started feeling my energy. I can feel the energy just like peeling off of me, like any negative energy, as I return to myself, reconnecting with myself, refocusing my energy, recharging my energy, and resurfacing as myself. It was just magical and simple and for free. Another good part of it costs you nothing,
You can
but
do
the
it.
key is that you have to do it. You have to do it. It's the only way it's going to work for you. If you don't do it, you can think about it. It's not going to work for you. You got to do it because it's a physical thing. Okay. And it goes like this. And you can do that over and over. And when you run out of breath, just take another deep breath and do it again. And just keep cycling it. And you'll see. And you do this for as many times as you want, whenever you're throughout the day. And the more you do it, the more you tune up your own frequency. You're returning to yourself, reconnecting and tuning up your frequency, and you'll see there's something that magical that happens. Try it, and anyone who's listening to this, I invite you to try it and let me know about it. Shoot me an email, a message, and let me know. Okay,
Yeah.
message me.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. That was amazing. And you can always come back here and do it together with Richard, like practicing. I need to practice making that kind of sounds. Thank you so much. And thank you for your time and all the work that you do, and now sharing your wisdom here. This was very, very, very helpful and amazing to know more about the human design and just hearing from you what it can do for us.
Thank you, Katja. This is wonderful. And yeah, be safe, stay safe in this time, and congratulations on your on your development and your business. I really love seeing the growth that you're doing here, and yeah, I'm here to support you with this as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for watching Path to Purpose interview show. If you want to support your path, join Lightworkers who Succeed on Purpose community on Facebook. And I'm sending you so much light and love. And stay tuned in here for the next episode. And if you want, you can check the last episode where we talked about camera confidence with my guest. So stay well and stay blessed, and bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.